Hey guys, welcome back to Rushing Waters Yoga. What a crazy year 2020 has been. We are actually currently in the middle of a hurricane, so if you hear some wind and some rain, that's definitely going on outside, along with Sky and Cody and Ocean, our puppy, are chilling in the living room, so hopefully the noise won't be too crazy, but just bear with me. But yeah, I wanted to bring you guys another quick flow. So this is going to be a super quick stretch, and this flow is going to be perfect for pre or post running. So all of my running friends out there, this is a great quick stretch for you. We're going to really target those muscles and those hip joints and a lot of the other parts of our bodies that we really use when we are running. So yeah, just go ahead and get your mat ready and we will get started. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be standing on our mats for the first little bit of this flow. We're going to go ahead and push all the way into that right foot, putting all the pressure on the four corners of the foot here, drawing that left heel up into that glute muscle. So that toe is pointed here. We're holding onto the top of the foot. The heel is pulled into the glute, and then those hips are tucked under here, really getting that good stretch along the front and side of that quad muscle here. We're going to take a few deep breaths, really stretching into that left leg. So we're pulling that heel to the outside of that left glute here. Bringing that breath deep into the chest, just slowing it down, feeling that deep stretch into that left leg. Just gently breathing, relaxing the neck and the shoulders, not holding any tension in any other part of the body here. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale very slowly, very controlled, lower that left leg down to the ground. We're going to push that left heel into the mat here, all four corners of the feet pressing in, drawing the right heel up into the glute with a pointed toe. So we're just shifting that over to that right side here, tucking those hips under, pulling that heel to the mid or outside of that right glute here, feeling that good stretch down that quad muscle. So finding that balance and that strength here, maybe you pick a point on the wall or a point on the floor just to gaze at. During this whole practice, we want to keep that good steady breath deep within the chest. We want to keep that composure and keep that balance. So just taking a few more breaths here, really stretching into that right leg. Taking that deep inhale through the nose. Exhale very slow, very controlled, lowering that right leg all the way down. Now we're going to switch back to that left leg once again. So pressing that right foot into the mat. We're going to take that left toe. We're going to kick that left toe up just slightly in front of that right big toe here. So kicking that left toe up. We're going to inhale as we sweep the arms up. We're going to exhale as we bend that right knee, sticking that tailbone back, drawing those hands all the way down to the foot here. We want to make sure that that knee does not track over that left toe. We're stretching into, or that knee does not track over that right toe as we're stretching into that left hamstring. So that heel is kicked, that toe is high. If this is too uncomfortable and you can't get down to that toe, you can always take those hands directly above the knee, straightening that leg. Just make sure that they're not at the knee so you're not putting any unwanted pressure on that knee joint. But really pushing into that left heel, pushing into that right heel, pushing into that right outer seat here as we stretch into that left hamstring. Staying within our range of motion, getting as low as we can go and still feel comfortable here. So breathing deep, slowing it down. And then let's inhale as we slowly rise up, always moving with that breath. And we're just going to change those feet out. So we're going to bring that left foot in. We're going to kick that right heel out directly in front of that toe. Inhale, the arms go up. Exhale, push that tailbone back, bend that left knee, take the hands all the way down to the right toe here. So continuing with that steady breath, and same thing on this side, keeping that left knee from tracking over that left toe here. We want to push back into that seat, push back into that tailbone, feel that stretch down the back of that right leg, the back of the knee, all the way down to the hamstring. Steadying that breath here. Always keeping that breath deep, never holding our breath. And then taking that deep inhale, we're going to slowly roll it all the way up. And then we're going to take our feet up to the top of our mat, whichever way that is for you. But coming to the tops of our mats here, we're going to take that deep inhale, lift those arms up high. Exhale, we're going to push that tailbone back, take the hands all the way down to the floor here, coming into that forward fold. Now we're going to go ahead and bend and straighten those knees here. Now if you can't get the hands all the way down to the mat, you can take those hands right above the knees once again, coming to that half flat back. And just bend and straighten those legs, pedal those knees. Massage the backs of the hamstrings here, massage the sides of the seat. Massage the backs of the knees all the way down into the calves, into the heels here. We're just loosening up those hamstrings. You can pedal as slow or as fast as you desire. There's no wrong or right way to do this. We're just loosening up those muscles before or after that big run. Just getting some good movement. Now we're going to go ahead and straighten those legs up, taking the hands all the way down to the mat. Let's step back, downward facing dog here. So pressing the heels into the mat, let's go ahead and keep that pedal going. So we're going to continue that pedal here, bending and straightening those legs. Let's drop that head down, relax the neck and the shoulders. Bending and straightening those knees, really pushing that tailbone back to the ceiling. Maybe those knees move as one. Bending those knees is one, pressing it back out. Now finding that stillness here, let's bring that right shin forward. Now we're coming into pigeon here. So we bring that right shin forward, we kick that left leg out behind us. It's been a little while since we've done these YouTube videos. So we push that left leg out behind us, we bend into that right here. So we're going to keep this pigeon upright for just a moment. Taking a few deep breaths. And then on that next exhale, let's go ahead and drop it down to the forearms. So taking it a little bit deeper into this pigeon here, coming into that rested pigeon. Really opening through those hip flexors, stretching into those hamstrings here. Getting that body ready for that run or cooling down after that big run. Now we're going to walk those hands back up underneath the chest. We're going to curl that left toe. We're going to step that right leg back, downward facing dog, and continue a little pedal. So let's get a few more pedals here, massaging those legs. Relaxing that neck. And then bringing that left shin forward. Now once again, we're going to keep this pigeon upright for just a moment. So we don't want to sink into that left or that right hip. We want to keep that posture upright. Keep those hips level here. Letting that right leg just rest out behind us. Taking a few breaths here. And then on that next exhale, whenever it serves you, go ahead and drop down to the forearms. So pressing a little bit deeper into that pigeon. Taking just a few breaths here. Really stretching into those hip flexors, stretching into those hamstrings here, being very gentle with the knees. And then let's inhale as we walk those hands back up. Now we're not going to press down dog this time. We're just going to press back onto that right knee, bringing that left knee back to meet it, and walking the knees underneath the hips. Let's bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Your tops of the feet touch the mat. Inhale, lift the tailbone up to the sky, drop the navel down, and lift that head up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hips tuck under navel to spine, drop that head into cow, round that back. Inhale into cow. Exhale, tuck and roll into that cat. Inhale into cow. One more cow here. Exhale, tuck and roll into cat. And then come back to that neutral spine. Now we're going to bring that right foot up to that right pinky finger here. And then we're going to press those hips forward, walking those hands forward as well, dropping that back left toe. We want to make sure, once again, that that knee does not track over the toe here. We're stretching deep into those hip flexors. So take a few deep breaths here, really stretching into that right hip flexor here. It's so important for those hips to be loose and ready for that run. Also very equally important to stretch them out after that run, keeping those hip flexors from tightening up. Now pressing those hips back, let's take that right knee back to meet that left knee. Bring that left foot forward to that left pinky finger. Press the hips forward. Walk the hands forward as well. Walk that toe forward if needed to make sure that that knee does not track over the toe. We want it directly over the ankle here. Stretching into the hips, once again, putting that stretch a little deeper into that left side this time. Also, you'll feel that stretch along the opposite quad muscle as we're in this runner's lunge. Taking just a few breaths, keeping that breath slow. Really concentrating on that breath as you stretch. And then walking those hands up, taking that left knee back to meet that right knee. Let's open up those knees wide. Let's kiss those big toes together. Let's find a little child's pose here as we walk those hands out long just to release the hip flexors here. So walking those hands out long, dropping the chin down to the mat. If you can, dropping that chest down. Just stretching through those hip flexors, really pushing that tailbone back onto the heels as we open those knees wide. We're going to take just a few breaths here. And then take that deep inhale. We're going to press back up onto the hands and the knees. And then we're going to roll over onto our backs here. So coming into that reclining position, rolling it all the way down. We're going to take that left ankle, we're going to take it atop that right thigh. We're going to reach behind that right hamstring here. Maybe you guys can see me. Reaching behind that right hamstring, drawing that knee in tightly to the chest, as tight as we can. Flexing that left foot, and we want to make sure that that right knee is in alignment with that right hip here. You're going to feel this stretch deep into that left outer seat, deep into that left hamstring here as well. You can always pull this deeper by bending that right knee and reaching down for the shin. Drawing that leg in just a little bit tighter if that suits you, or just keeping those hands crossed behind the hamstring. Taking just a few deep breaths here. Now taking that deep inhale, let's drop that right foot down to the mat. Let's not untie those legs just yet. Let's take that left toe, let's drop it over to that left side, stacking that left hip on top of the right. We bring out that abdominal wall, twisting from that navel down here. So we're just loosening up that lower back here, stretching into that abdominal wall, and really again stretching into that left hamstring. So just controlling that breath, rolling those hips over. And then inhale as we lift it back up. Let's uncross that left leg, taking that right ankle atop that left thigh. Reach behind that left hamstring here. Flex that right foot and make sure that that left knee is in alignment with that left hip here. We're just moving that stretch into that left side. Moving that stretch into the right side here. So we flex that right foot. We feel that stretch move down the hamstring into that outer seat. Continuing to keep that breath slow and that heart rate slow as well. Only a few more stretches here. Getting that pre or post run stretch in. Keeping that breath deep into the chest. And then very slowly taking that left foot, dropping it down to the ground on that inhale. Now take that right toe, drop it over to that left side. Let that right hip lift up, stacking on top of the left. Those hands can just rest where they fall. We're twisting from that navel down here into that lower abdominal wall, that lower back, letting that hip rise up. Taking just a few deep breaths here. We have one more pose in this reclining position before we set it back up. Now lifting those hips back up, let's take that right elbow to the inner part of that right knee and the outer part of that right foot. Now the same thing with that left elbow, we're going to take it to the inner part of that knee and the outer part of that foot. Let's draw those knees down to the mat. Let's flex those toes down to the shin here. Now you can find a little rock or a sway if that suits you here to massage that back on the floor as well. But stretching into those hamstrings and hip flexors one more time here. Coming into that happy baby. Rocking it out or keeping it still, whatever serves you and your body. Just relaxing and controlling that breath. And then finding that stillness, releasing the heels all the way back down to the mat. And then taking our time very slow and controlled, we're going to roll it back up and come into a seated position. Now we're going to crisscross those legs here. Getting that good straight posture, that good straight spine. We're going to take the hands down to the knees and drop the chin down to the chest here. Loosening up that low or that upper back and those shoulders here. So dropping that chin down, rolling those shoulders down and away. And then lifting that head back upright. Let's get one good head roll all the way around. And then changing that direction all the way around. Now stretching into those outer seats one more time. We're going to take that right leg down to the mat, stacking that left leg on top of it. We want to be very gentle and careful with those knees here. So stacking that left leg on top of the right in that half lotus. We're going to take that deep inhale. And then on that exhale, we're going to drop it down to the forearms here. So leaning over those feet, dropping it down to those forearms, slowing down that breath. Once again. Really just breathing as we stretch into that left hamstring one more time, that left outer seat one more time for just a few seconds here. We're almost done with this quick practice here today. I hope that this has served your body for that pre-run or that post-run. Inhale as we walk those hands back up. Now we're going to swap it out. So that left leg comes down, that right leg goes on top here. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale as we drop it down to those forearms here. So dropping it down to the forearms, shifting that stretch into that right outer seat in that half lotus. So bringing that breath deeper to the chest once again. Relaxing that body. Relaxing that breath. Really relaxing into that hip. And then inhale as we slowly lift it back up. And then exhale as we uncross those legs. One final stretch here into those hip flexors. Bringing those legs into butterfly. Drawing those soles of the feet together. Those elbows can press down gently on those knees if that serves you. Opening through those hip flexors here. Taking a deep breath. Really concentrate on breathing and opening through the hip flexors. And I'm going to read this verse over you guys as we close out this stretch here today. And our verse is Hebrews 12:1. And it says, keep running the race that is set before you with endurance. Running is such a peaceful and powerful experience. It is a way to get in touch with ourselves, in touch with God, in touch with nature. We're going to release this butterfly pose and just come back up into that crisscross position. Take those hands to the knees for just a moment. Close those eyes for just a few more seconds here, staying with me today. We're going to just concentrate on that verse for just a moment, that Hebrews 12:1. Keep running the race that is set before you with endurance. It is such a powerful and beautiful verse. Running is not something that is easy. It is so important to have that time for ourselves to nourish and sow into our bodies, into our physical bodies. We pray for that endurance as we run, that stamina and that strength. And then we also pray for that good rest on that post run, to relax those muscles, relax those joints, and to keep running the race that has been set before us. God, we thank you for all that you have done. We thank you for that run that we may have already had, God, or that run that is set before us, God. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me for this quick pre or post-run stretch. I can't wait to bring you guys more videos, and I hope that you have a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste.